Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I am here with a book haul. In particular, this is a book haul for the Bookworm in Surf City, New Jersey, which is where I visited for Small Business Saturday, which just recently passed. I bought 4 books for myself at the Bookworm. I got something else for someone else, and so I thought I would share with you the books that I bought for myself. First thing that I got really caught my attention because it is a non-fictional work about the food industry, and that really catches my attention. The honesty behind what really is going on with what we eat. The book is For Fish, The Future of the Last Wild Food by Paul Greenberg, who he himself is a fisherman. And he talks about how the seafood industry is primarily, when it comes to fish, dominated by 4 types of fish. Salmon, sea bass, cod, and tuna. And in many cases they are farmed, which the human interaction with the food tends to alter it. It tends to alter the authenticity, which in turn may provide a bit more of that harmful element to what it is we're really consuming. And this is a bit of a warning as to what can happen, but it also seems to provide that call to action that gives us the opportunity to work toward a response to what can happen if we make better choices, so that the will as to what will happen is much more positive. And I'll be interested to look into this one. It's very much like the book about bananas that I had purchased recently. Next thing that I got was So You Don't Get Lost in the Neighborhood by Patrick Modiano, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2014. This one really caught my attention. I think that the very first line to the summary, and I'll read it to you. In the stillness of his Paris apartment, Jean d'Aragon has built a life of total solitude. Then a surprising phone call shatters the silence of an unusually hot September, and the threatening voice on the other end of the line leaves d'Aragon worried but irresistibly curious. And in this case, it turns into this wild adventure that the protagonist finds himself in, and it really seems like it's going to play like a thriller, and I'm really interested to see how Modiano approaches that. Next thing that I got is something I really was looking for, and I'm so glad that I found it at the Bookworm. Recently I read Persepolis. I did it as a buddy read with Michelle from Michelle is Life. I found Persepolis 2, The Story of a Return, also written by Marjane Satrapi. And this has to do with Satrapi's adolescent years, her high school years in Vienna, and how she comes back to Iran and the changes that have taken place since she left to go to Vienna. And from there, her going into college and getting a degree in art and looking to get into illustration, but also the personal elements, such as her friendships and relationships and her family that take place. And the last thing that I got for myself caught my attention simply because of the title, and that was Joshua, A Brooklyn Tale. I had to look at this and see what it was about. It was written by Andrew Kane, who wrote a book called Rabbi, Rabbi. But the fact that it was called Joshua, which is my full first name, is something that is bound to grab my attention right from the get-go. But reading the back of it, I also saw that it was an interesting story about Joshua Eubanks being a young black man who grew up in poverty in a poor neighborhood in Brooklyn, and how he becomes a custodial assistant while also coming across a rebellious Hasidic Jewish girl named Rachel Weissman who is looking to become a doctor, and a bit more of a rival in Paul Sims, who comes from Long Island. He also has affection for Rachel, and it says right on the back of the cover, so it's not spoiling anything, that Joshua and Paul are related, as in the fact that they have the same dad, but different moms. And I thought I would make mention to the fact that So You Don't Get Lost in the Neighborhood, while written by Patrick Modiano, was translated into English by Euan Cameron. And this is everything I got from the Bookworm. I think it's an excellent store to go and visit. Julie, who owns the place, is a very nice and personable person. I think that she really cares about all of her customers, and that relationship that she builds really makes for a great shopping experience. And the people that work for her, Megan, and then Linda and Lily in the summer, they are very compassionate as well, and they really, and the fact that they interact with you about what you bought, and not to mention the great and ever blossoming selection. You never know what you're going to find each time you visit. Thank you for tuning into this book haul. I hope you had a great Small Business Saturday, and hopefully you visited a bookstore recently. If not, I hope that you visit a bookstore really soon. Thank you for tuning in, and for now, keep reading.